regions and servers.
Okay, let's continue. After the blue screen of that killed my records, let's get these things get better. My 30 minutes of recording go trash, or 1 hour, I don't know, but let's make it again, shall we? Okay. Now I'm gonna go with jiggle. I already save it, but I'm gonna replace it sadly, because I'm gonna need to do everything again and again. Okay, now let's go. First thing, let's add some jiggle. Oh wait, I will go with the hitboxes first. Let's create a hitbox. You can select this all bones, or you can select the whatever you bones you like, but I'm gonna go with the all bones. You can select all children like this and press OK. Okay. This is gonna create hitboxes for her. My God. Okay. You can see all over the hitboxes. Also, you can select the hitboxes when they hit the affected surface property. So, for example, let's select here. Okay. I'm gonna select the all. Surface property. Can we select for her? Can I select flash? Yes. Okay. Oh, of course, it's gonna freeze the model deck. Now let's see. For example, there's a jacket bone. Jacket, belt, skirt. And let's select them. Can we select cloth? Yes. Because they are gonna be cloth. Okay. Let's go for her hair. Let's select the hair. Okay, we select the hair. We can check it from here. There is a lot of bone. Let's think, what can we select it? Can we select hair? No. What should be suitable for hair? Snow. Haha. No. Carpet. Miku hair from the carpet. I can imagine. Okay, this. You know what? I'm gonna keep it as flesh. Armor flesh. Well, that's interesting. Player flesh. Hmm. Okay, the player flesh is more nicer. I'm gonna select again. So I'm gonna make some player flesh. Player flesh. That's so interesting. Okay, it's gonna froze again. Okay, let's select them here again. Yes. Now let's say what we're gonna do. Yeah, that one. Also select. Also, you can select special it. But I'm not gonna do a player mode, so who's care? So what can we do? I can do more gives a clothes, but I will test them if there's are making any different. Okay, now I'm gonna compile this. Okay, compile, finish it. Now let's see. Okay, I can continue. Let's close the hitboxes. Okay. All right. So let's create our first jigglebone. You can select from here. For example, I'm gonna select this. It's gonna create a jigglebone. But before we continue, I'm gonna show you something when this compile. Okay, now we can continue after 3 or 4 episodes or blue screen of that, we can say. Let's continue. If OBS allow me to do continue. Alright. Now before we continue our journey, we need to check the Valve developer wiki for the Jigglebones. Source 1. Yes, why source 1? Because source 2 doesn't so change it. The same rules applies to source 2. So before you go, check the Jigglebones in the Valve developer. But if you have got a little knowledge or knowing the professional or medium level of the Jigglebones, let's continue. Alright, so our Jigglebones we created here. So first thing first, we're gonna change this to flexible. So what's the flexible? It's flexible. It's the same. So all things can be applied to the source too. Alright. So we're gonna go here. So let's make it a little bit closer. Also, my auto tone settings in here gonna give us a little bit problem on here. So I'm not gonna so close to Miko. So let's continue. We need some limitations for this, or else it won't work good. So let's give yaw constellation. Oh, we got a shape appear blue. Okay, we have got another shape appear green. Okay, now let's continue. There is a two shapes appear when I click the limits. Also, I'm gonna click angel construction. Then we will move forward to what they do and how to be configured. So also allow the flex legend I'm using. So before we continue, let me explain them. Along shiftness is this side of the Z axis. It's a along settings from the S1. Pitch setting is left, yaw setting is up. So also model docs show them in 3D world. In source one, we could not see this. So let's give angel limit first. 40. So we have got a conical shape appear. So this conical shapes means how much can that bone angel penetrate. We can see here in the first one, angel construction. Yes, this is the angel construction one. This one you can see. So we move. If you crank that up, this angel limit, it will sudden movements. It's starting a sudden movements. So I don't suggest you go beyond the third or 40 because you will understand what's the breaking point. I will show it when the next part of the video, I mean, continues to, but let's set it for this time. Now let's move to the yaw limitations. Minimum is minus. Give the minus to minimum. You can see it's changing. Let me give it a 90. We can see it's become a 90, but minus. So let's give the positive. So we have got a 180-degree to post this way. Which axis? X axis. No, sorry. Y axis. Yaw is up. You can see. So the bone can jiggle to this way. Only this limitation inside of this. Then we will go to pitch limitations. Let's but for the showing, let me show it from here because that side from here. Let's give it a -9 here to 90. So we can see the movement is like this. It's creating it move like 360 to this bone because we have doing a hair jiggling, tail jiggling. So the movement needs to be like this. It's go this way, this way, this way, this way. And the conical angel limitation is control the movement to here. So the legend means, let me show it. Oops. Okay. How far simulated mass from the base inches? So what's mean? It will just move to the master from the main to here. The higher volumes could be mess with the simulation, but lower will be more jiggle effect giving. Also, you can add a mass, but I don't suggest touch this before you set this the stiffness and damping. So let's set this. Stiffness means when it's go higher numbers, it will want to stay there. But if you don't give it, it's like a zero gravity movements. In lower numbers of the stiffness gives it you. It's like a flying with zero gravity effect. and you don't want that effect. Also, more stiffness will stay there like a stone. Dumping is making the reduce the jiggling effect. If you set it lower, you can set it 0 to 10 like the source one. You can see dumping numbers in the Valve developer. Yeah. They didn't ask type it, but I'm sure for the numbers for set, don't set this thing upper than 10. You can go 500 for this, but I go 70 or 100 level of the stiffness. Also, you know the along shiftness, the Z axis, you could not see here. Also for the radius, you can set the radius of your model to fit the capsule of the jigglebone. I will get into that for the collision part. But for now, the basic settings, the hell is that? For the basic settings, it's something like that. Let's give some numbers. 7, 100, 8, 100, 8, 100, 8. So we give some numbers to that. So we're gonna compile and test it. Alright, the compile is finished. Let's enable the close simulation. Now we should have got a jiggling effect on the hair. A little bit because we didn't code the hair. You can see there is a basic movement. Also, if you press the jiggle bone, you can see how it's acting. Alright. You can see acting. So also when you enable the jiggle bones, it's react like this. When you play the animation, it will go back to its place and on off this switch. So alright, we made it flexible. We give our construct. We have got a pitch construct and we have got an angle construct and we have got a allow flex and we have got a angel limits and the yaw pitch and downless shiftless limits. So we have got a good simulation right now. Okay, now it needs to be stable. I reset my settings and go back to the old AMD polling. So let's go. Yay. Alright, where was I am? After tons of Besotan frozen. Ah yeah, I'm gonna add some prefab. Ah, not there. The jigglebone. Is it a French prefab? Okay. Yeah, that one. Alright. Oh, that's not for here, of course. So let's delete it. Let's add some more. Oops, not there. Okay, now let's import the hair ones. That one is the new. But it's not for the front. Alright. It's one more prefab. So there. Go to here again. And let's import that too. So we got some configuration right now. Let's compile it. So the compile is finished. So let me add some animation too. Oops. That's interesting. Okay, you know what? Why it's open there? Hmm. I can get it from other way. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, now it's. Let's copy this file. Oh, where is that? Oh, whatever. Or let's just copy this thing to our Miku. Where is that? Okay, it's here. Simply copy paste. Yeah, that works. Okay, now it's compile. That was fast. Let's close our other Miku. So we have got a test to compare. But before the testing, let's see our limits. I give it a tip mass because I want to make a gravity effect on it. For the friction, let me play the animation first. So let's test our jigglebones. There is no collision if you notice. Even the collision is enabled. You can see I didn't enable the collision right now. I mean, it's enabled as a collision. Also, we have got a collision layers, but it won't work. If you ask why it's not work, we need some collision for the effect, the collision wool files. Not the wool files, but the shapes. So for that, we need some cloth shapes. If I go, we have got some close shapes. Close shape buffs, close shape capsule, close shape shaper. This like the bicycle. When you're making a bicycle model, you can use the same shapes, copy paste. But let's see. Let's make the one. So I think this one the Miku have in there. Or this one. Yeah, let's go with this one. But I cannot make it in this model. So let's disable here. So let's go to for second thought, let's go with this close shape box again. So I'm gonna select this like my auto tone. So there's a box we need to make the clothes act with that. So when the collision we enabled on the jigglebone touch this box shape, it will react with the hair or skirt. So you can make it this as a not like that. Cloth shapes. You can make it a cloth box, cloth capsule, cloth shaper for this. It doesn't matter. It's just suit to your model. It's like a bicycle pool file or the collision file or the shape. You just making the shapes of the whatever you want on the character. When the cloth touches or the jigglebone touches with the enabled collision, it will react. So for that, I already made a collision, sorry, a cloth model for this. Let's import that. Oops, top body. I think it's that. Let me try it. If it's not, we could. It's not. Okay, it's not. So let's purge it. It's here. Full shapes. Let's open that. So delete the other one. So we can see I already made the close shapes. So we have got a box, we have got a capsule, we have got a shaper. Shaper for heads. I find it more suitable for the head. So if you look at this, you can see it's like a collision model. I made it. Can made it from the box, but I go with this to suit her model. So let's compile it with the close shapes. Okay, it's compile itself. So we got the close shapes with the jiggle bones. The close, the collision enabled, of course. So let's test it. Then I will explain what's going on in here. Before we test it, there is a idle animation. So it's starting to react with our close shapes. I don't know why this react between different here, but basically we have got a reaction. So if you make it the Miku fall to the ground, we can see hair doesn't want to go through. I mean, it's reacting, but it's not so perfect simulation. Also, it's go to the ground. So, my God. Let's test it with the animation. So it will make some better tests. Also, don't forget, game and the model duck react differently. When you see here, it won't react with the same in the game. But it's reacting. So let's see. It have got a clothes when the hits. You can see when we enabled when I press the prefab, it will show our clothes of her. So you can see the simulation is going good. Okay. Now let's pause it. So let's disable this and let's go to the idle animation again because I don't want to see odd things going on here. Oops. Alright. So basically we have got the layers of the cloth to interfere with our jiggle bones. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Let's get some example from the hair. So we made the angle limit 45. We have got a legend 2.5. If I make it to crank up this thing to higher level, you will see some bugging. Let me show it. What they affect. So you don't need to work on them. For example, let's crank it up to 20. And let's compile it. If you remember, I was tell you it will move the tip mass to from the center of the bone to down of the bone. You can read the valve developer wiki, but it's moved the tip mass center to away from the center. Basically like that. I just only changed the tails, hair tails, by the way. Alright, it's compiled. Let's see how awful it's gonna be. Let's test with the test one. So it will reduce the jiggling effect of the hair. It's like make it like a zero gravity. It react differently now, but it's a bit buggy reacting because I cranked that thing so up, and it's something you don't want to see from the jiggling bones. But it react to collision more better. But it's making so aggressive. We can see. Alright, so let's test it with the another test animation I mock up it. This one shows better aggressiveness of that setting. It really looks not so natural. It's like flying on the air. And it won't. So let's back that setting to normal and let's go what we can change. These are stiffness limits. It will change for the hair react with the hair wants the or the what jiggle bones what the part of the your character it's going to stay there when you crank that up, but if you make it lower level like uh, below the 80, it will fly like a zero gravity. Let me show it. Let's go with the 20 for them. Oh boy, that's not gonna end well. So let's compile it again. Okay, we compile it. Now let's test this thing. What do? Also, don't forget, this can be different in the reaction in the engine. This is model that we are talking. You can see here is less reactive and it's like flying on the air. Also, this is because of maybe damping is so low. Damping is making the hair movements won't go so smooth. So the hair won't react it so much. It's like a zero gravity hair. Okay, now let's opposite leveling. Make it more higher. Before we go, we make the limits back to the settings. Let's go to 100 for example. You can go upper that, but it depends on what you are doing. So I will show it right now to 100. Let's compile it. Also, if you have got a dealing with so much bones, it compiles so long time. Okay, the compile is finished. Let's test this new 200 shiftness. If you make it 200, it will so reactful. Dumping cannot dump it. This is why I'm talking about why you need be careful that limit. You need to balance it. If you don't balance, you will see like this effect. Also, this will be related with the angle construction limit. I mean, angle limit. Uh, Also the dumping. There is a three combination making this kind of crazy reaction. Also length. I mean, there's so much affecting things. You need the multiple tested with the limits. When you're doing this, for example, this 200, make this thing crank up the 10 or 5 for the dumpings, or play with the angle limit. Also, we're gonna play with the angle limit too. So you will understand what it's do on the complex model like this. So let's say we go back to this. So let's mix this two. Let's make this dumping. Okay. So what's gonna be happened if I make some less dumping on here? All right. So we are ready to compile again. When you're dealing so much bones, it's laggy. Okay, we're back. Now let's test it with the less dumping on her hair. So look, we have got some effect like stiffness on the up. So this is why you need to make it the balance with that dumping and the stiffness. If you make it so much or so less dumping with your stiffness level so high, this will happen again. So let's say again what we did. We just make the dumping lower, right? Right. So with the AD, the stiffness, the 8 is the correct number to balance it. You can make it so much play with these limits on your jiggle bones to what it suits. It can take a bit time because I have been trying this for 5 months because there is no tutorial for exactly what this limits to which so much bones. I think there's a 200, 128 bones. The harmony jiggling. My god. Okay. So if you not count that bones, we make a boneless hair. If you get the reference. Okay. So let's play with the mass. Like I said, start with the zero mass, I said. What if we give zero mass? Let's compile it again. Because these things affect each others and fight with each others. One limit is so wrong and unbalanced, it will ruin everything in here. You can say you can go crazy on the jiggling. And also if you add a collision to that thing, because if you miss the limits, the collision won't work on the hair or the jiggling part of whatever it's there, because this thing apply from the cloth to jiggle. I mean jiggle apply from the cloth in the source too. Different from the source one, but it's similar. Okay, we are back with the compile. So let's test the zero mass. Well, it's like a shampoo ad. It's go crazy. Zero gravity. Because there is no gravity affecting. But it won't fall the ground directly. Let me show it. When I make it the ragdoll her again. Let's make her ragdoll. You can see the hair doesn't want to go to ground like before because there is no mass on the jigglebones, so it won't directly go to the ground. So we can mess with this like this. Oh, touchy collision. Okay, so there is no mass. Okay, so I made 200 because still 200 is not nice, but I think it's giving us some things for her. So let's move on to the angle limits. So for example, let's limit them 20. You can see our cones are smaller right now. Let's compile it, how it's react. We will see. Okay, the compile is complete. Now we have got a 200 mass, but 20 limit for the angle construction. So what's gonna be happened? Is anything going to be crazy happened? Let's see. Now it's not so much extreme jiggling. It's supposed to stay in there. Why? Because we made a so tight limit, so it cannot move or penetrate that limit. You can see it's like a so big part of the chain, but it doesn't want to move so much. You can see. I know this limit's so aggressive or so interesting or so much out of control when you do something wrong with the make the mess with the balance of the between them, because there is so much things to you need to calculate, because the collision when it's touched the collision node, I mean like a box or the or capsule on in her body, it will make things go different from the source one, because we don't have got a collision in the source one. Collision is make them jiggles go crazy sometimes. So you need to calculate that fact. And you have got so much bones or the complex model like the Hatsune Miku hair or the anime hair, we can say. Not for the only the Hatsune Miku. Some things can go crazy. And I mean it like this. So let's make some checks. Also, I make them different. Each capsule shapes on the what they say. Yeah, there's a capsule shapes. We can say I make them suitable for the Hatsune Miku. But these things can be go interesting when you make it the point more be longer to here. It's making more good collision catch with the cool nuts, not cool nuts, cool shapes. Sorry, cool shapes can be touched more easily. There is a so much interesting thing with the radius and the point from these things to with the cloth shapes. You have to balance that too. I mean, we if you go make crazy things, it's go crazy. But I don't suggest to make these things so crazy, hike or big. Make them suitable, but not so extreme big or extreme small. You need to test it bigger or make it smaller. You will get the you will see something is changing. You need to be careful this part too. I mean, radius 1 is changing the starting of the capsule in here, and radius 2, sorry, radius 0, sorry, 0 changing starting point of the capsules reduce one is changing this end of the capsule, and the point is for the longer, but you can change the direction of this thing. Oops, not that one, sorry. Now if I, oh, there is a moment toss. If you change it, you can change the limits, or you can change it here too. It will make more different reaction, of course, but I'm not gonna try that. I have no idea what's gonna happen if I do that. But I'm not wondering that too. Alright, so for the hair, I make like this. So what's for the other parts of her, like skirt or jacket or tie? Well, it looks same. We have got pitch limits for the... oh yeah. Let's disable this for odd movements, because if you enable this, it could simulation continue and make some odd things. So, for example, the tie needs to move like this. So I make this a minimum yaw and the maximum pitch for the tie movements. So I disable the construction limit. You can go with the without limits too for some jigglebones, because maybe if you could be like that because they are freely move from that. But you need to test it. Sometimes it won't go good. Alright, so that's for the model deck part. So I mentioned the jigglebones you can type in Notepad++. You can edit the prefabs manually, like QCI files. Like the QC file, they can be edited like this. So let's compare Source 2 versus Source 1 Jigglebone codes. There is nothing so much change, like I said, just the code more longer and the minimum maximum yaws different. I mean, they made it two different lines. So let's say we compare. I forget the yaw friction. Let me show it too. Sorry. All right. So let's go to again these things. Select them. So what if we don't have get a friction? You are not forced to make it, or you don't need a friction all the time. I just tested. I find it looks good on the hair, but it sometimes maybe it won't react good. Also, don't pass the 20 on the friction. There's a good succession on the Valve Developer Wiki. You don't, or bad. Okay, we compile it without friction now. 20 to 0. Let's enabled our code simulation. Let's see. Now we don't have got a friction. So bones won't, so jiggle bones won't frick each other or the closeness. You know, it makes some difference. But I think it makes some difference. Alright. That's for without friction. Okay. Now let's compile it again. Okay. So we are looking to the similarity with this code. So we want the code from the source 1 to source 2. Or you want to convert your model from source 1 to source 2. Here's it. We start with the, of course, Jigglebone name. and the jiggle root bone. The type 1 means it's flexible in the source 2. So length, also we have got a length in here, you can see. But this thing uses this point system. Without points, if you type it, it sometimes gives you a model doc error. So don't forget the point on there. Make some number like this, because Source2 is doing some code like this. I don't know why. Let's continue. Allow flexible legends. This is allow legend flex. It's the same with source one. If it's true, it's do the same thing in the source one. Also, along shiftness, along dumping, along shiftness. You can see, but the source one using like this, minus and positive in the same direction, like pitch construction. Where is that? If you ask, the pitch stiffness or pitch damping. You can see. Oh no, sorry. Ah, I made a mistake. The pitch construction means in here minimum maximum pitch. So if you can see minus 30 30, but here's minimum different in here and maximum in here, but the same. You just typing like this. The code little bit change. Also dumping is here. Yaw stiffness and yaw dumping and yaw stiffness. You can see the source one code and the source two code on the left. Yeah, basically we are doing the same thing, but a little bit different. Also, we have got a capsule system in here. In source one, we don't have got a capsule system. This for helping the react with the CLUT nodes. My guess, I am not for sure, but it's affecting the reaction when I change this number. And also TF2MAPS is the same. If you have got a collision, you have got a collision layers open if you enable this. And you have got a basically it here. You can edit manually, or you can type it to the model doc like this. It's your choice. But if you coding so much bones, I suggest the Notepad++. It's better for the so much bones, because you can use a Notepad plus cloning or changing replace function in here in section or blah blah things. So this is the difference between two of them. So let's move on to the cloth of the soft body. So I'm going to disable these for the cloth. Add some cloth prefabs, right? So let's go with this soft body script, right? So let's no, I am not make that directly. I have got a more better idea. So before that, let's say, okay. Before that, let's make some cloth chain. Then after, we will check the cloth nodes. But let's go with the cloth chain. I will do a cloth chain for the Miku hair. So let's tail. Right. Let's select the for here you need to select the first one when you make a cloth chain. Then it will automatically create a cloth chain for all of the bones under the child. You can see we have got a cloth chain. So we have got some setting, goal strange or extra iteration, twist relaxation, motion blast. So we make some tests on there, but let's make without settings. How it's react. Let's compile it. Okay, now we have got a cloud node compiled, and it's also warmy. It's have got a problem with the twist relaxation. So let's test it. I disable the alf cloud things. I'm sorry, jigglebones. Now we are testing without twist relaxation. Without jigglebones. Also, there is so basic settings. There's not so much going on right now on the settings. So it won't react so much. That's why. Okay. All right. So let's make some settings. Okay. We have got a ghost range. But let's go with the twist reaction. I'm gonna go 1. Extra iteration makes the simulation better. Let's go 32. Let's go extreme. Motion bias, we will test it. Ghost range will make it so much solid. It won't react like a as it do. It won't change its shape so much. It's like something's like a rock when you crank that up. I will crank that up. I will show it. But right now, let's start with the twist relaxation. So let's make it happy to model duck. Okay, we have got a compiled. That's an interesting effect. So let's play this. Now we have got a twist limit. Twist relax, sorry, for all chain. We can mix different for chain. I mean, we can give it a special limit for the each chain. So we have got make it more iteration, but we are missing some motion bias. So it won't want to move so much. It's just like stay there. It's not stay there. But it's reacting some of our closed shapes as something. But closed its relaxation sometimes twists so much that relaxation give it a little bit ugly effect on some of the chain bones. So let's stop it. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna add some bias. We can't add the first of them. It won't gonna add because the first one is not simulated. This is the reason for that. Don't simulate it. Let's go with the motion bias 02. If you crank the thing up so much, you will regret it. That too. It will go crazy. But I will show it. What's gonna happen when you crank that up with the 0 ghost stretch? Then I will go into the ghost stretch too. Okay, now let's test it. Now we have got a much more odd effect because of the twist relaxation and the motion bias. That thing is so tricky on the chain. but it's much more making movable. On the one part of her hair now have got a flute chain, but you can see we have got a much more better movement before. This is not a jiggle bone. This is a flute chain only, not a flute note. It's just react with the flute shapes with the flute chain. Nothing else. There's so much one on there also. So what's gonna happen when we crank that up with the zero ghost range? Let me show it. But it's not gonna be nice. Let's go with the 05. 05 is this enough to go make things go crazy. We will see. Now prepare for so much bias. Okay. Let's press and let's go flying like this. This is why you don't want to crank that thing so much with that zero ghost range. You don't want to end up with this. I don't know what the hell is this, but this is what it is. So, no. No for that. Oh, let's get back to 02, right? So, what happened? We increase the ghost range. Oops. Right? So, 04. And compile. Okay, now we have got a ghost range. So, like I said, this will make the more solid cloth. So, you can see cloth doesn't want to change its shape. It's like a solid object, like a jelly. But this is not cool. So, instead of it, I go with the 0 on the cloth chain. Also, motion bias 02 is enough. Yes, 02 is good for it. So, yeah. Now let's compile it again. Okay, now we back to compile it again. So we see it's a bit normal now. Yeah, it's reacting a bit normal. But it's not good like a jigglebone do. Makes some so freely move. Free falling. That's something. So let's restart the CS2 because our compass getting ridiculously wrong. We will be back after the CS2 restart. You need to do sometimes to restarting it because it's really getting so heavy when the compile to compile. It will make it relaxed. Okay, we are back again. Let's disable our cool chain. So we're gonna do a clut node. This is a bit different from that. Oh, let's go with this. Yeah, this one. It will ask again. Oh, tail. Let's select this. So we have got a nicely low note on there. So what we can do with this? you can have get has a word collision. You can set a collision radius to make the collision with the other things. You can select the throught or the length with the chain, or you can set the goal dumping or the goal strength again for the effect of it, or you can select the mass of it and make some lots of things in here. But I'm already made a list, so I'm gonna make some ready things. Oops, not like that, like this. So let's get rid of all of that stuff. So let's add some prefab again, right? So add that. I've got a some lot things. So I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna add this. So here's for the skirt. So let's continue the adding prefab to here because we need for the hair. I will show what's the possibilities with these things. Hairs. Okay. Go with this. Alright. This contains also the cloth chains. So let's disable the cloth chains. Just go with the cloth nodes. Okay, let's compile it. Alright, we're back. This time it's compiled fast. Let's open our cloth simulation. We already got the cloth shapes for her, so it will react with it. So with the cloth nodes, we can see we have got a melting. Oh no! This is what happens when you wrong set cloth nodes go strange. Let's disable. Why this happen? If you ask, the melting effect to the ground and the disappear at the ground with the cloth node. The answer is simple. Let me we have got a ghost range, each of them. If you have got a lower ghost range of the hair, sorry, the main bone, it will go melt down to the ground. Huge. Let me demonstrate it. When I set it, the higher number, for example, let's 0, 1, there's no ghost range. So let's give it a ghost range 0, 4, for example. Let's compile it. So we have got a block that melting on the cloud nodes. Okay. So when we enable it, it's still going. Let me. Okay, let's give some more. This time I don't want to go with the cloud nodes only. This is the reason of it. Because sometimes setting them really annoying. But if your ghost range is so low, that's the causing it. I don't want to mess with them. So I will go instead of it. I will re-enable my cloth chains to make them block the melting. So we enabled our cloth chain. But this should be stop the melting. But if your cloth nodes are melting to the ground, just make it higher the ghost range. Yay, that's so odd. Basically, we have got a cloth chains combined with the cloth knots in here. Okay, that looks so huge, so boogie. That's why I don't use a only cloth on the Miku. This is the reason. But for the hair of the tail, it looks fine. But I prefer to combine them with the jigglebones. So what happened? We enabled again our jigglebones with the cloth. So let's test that. Okay, now we have got a soft body, cloth shapes, cloth knots, cloth chains, jigglebones, collision, bicycle model, lots of things. My god, let's see the results. We got cloth chains, we got cloth knots, we got jigglebones, we got bicycle models. So this is the combined Miku. Yay. I don't know, when you combine them looks good, I guess. But I don't know. I am not a Valve employer to or the I don't have got a connection with the Valve. I am not sure how they type this system. I have no idea. I just testing limits and combine them without knowledge. But this is what I get. But if you have got a better suggestion, I am open for the suggestion. But for right now, it looks okay. Not good, not perfect. It's so far from perfect, but it's do the job. Also, there is another method when you making in the Blender this simple model and importing it. I try it, but it is not go well on the Miku. But you can use that. You need a special Blender tools for that. And I want from the GitHub, I guess, for that one, but I am not go into that one. I just go with the only the cloth nodes, jigglebones, and cloth chain. Okay. So far so good. I think we did a good job on her so far. Also, this looks a headless Miku, right? Why you should ask? She doesn't have got a head. That's a good question. Let me bonemerge those because I'm still using the old technique. Her head somewhere here. What did I type it the name of that? Oh, it's not in here. So let's make only Hatsune Miku head main. This is the old VMDL from old Dota 2 model editor. It still work, but Valve gonna be remove this method soon on TS2 because there is a pop-up coming when you open it. But right now it's still working. This is a HWM model. you needed some different things for the work for the sliders works for this. But let me show it in the model doc. So let's select here. We can get this. I delete the original VMDL. This is the VMDL-C file gonna open. So we cannot see the resource file in the model doc because I didn't compile that for the model doc. But model doc still reading, or the game still reading, but it can be changed on the feature. I will show it this method too, but don't rely on because Valve gonna be snap it soon. But here you go. Those all TeamFortressS2 models method. You can see we have got a slider working. Or we can go with random. He's not so happy on the random. Okay. Let's go with 0. We have got so much slider for her. So yeah, basically for okay, that's interesting. Normally it's go with the head. But I think I opens with the model deck, make it little bit failure. Let's make it give it her again. Yeah. If you open the model with the other model deck, it makes boogie. That's interesting. We can say she is really good at Jigglebones, and it's a good collision, but don't expect the work like this in the game. This is tricky. So far, let's make summarize what we did. We made some material groups like this, and we add some animations to her. We make some prefabs and the jigglebones, and we code it like this. We make cloth shapes, so like this. So it can react. We made bicycle full files, so she can use as a ragdoll. Yay, she's dead. Okay. We made some coding to her to move the bicycle conicals. It's similar to like a QC coding bicycle model in the source one. You can code with the VMDL directly to this, but I suggest the model doc because you need to move this cone shapes to the exact points of her. You can use the bone position, the opening here to see the bones where you need to place that. And you can change the mass overrides or because sometimes model that can calculate it so less or so higher than it should be, so it will write with the bicycle body markup, or you can angular damping like a internal CG. You can change it. I copy paste from my source one code from these things. Let me see. Oh, I can show it. Let's see, where does it's join root dumping, joint bias. This is the source one. Okay, now. Oh. bicycle model is bit so interesting. Ah, I am looking for the hair. That's why. I think I cannot grab anything from here. But the position or the X limits or Y limits you can see in the here. Limits are here. But it's not so much same. But the model docs help you to see the exactly what you are doing when you crank that up, that limits. In the source one we missing that feature, so we coding like what's gonna happen. You need to compile and see, but you don't need to see like that. You can crank that and boom, directly appear in the models. So bicycle body is like that. So the we can make change with the this transformation. You can auto detect or chain. I go with the chain because there's so much bone on the chain, so they can act like a chain. Also, I made a chain for it. What can we say more? I don't think uh, I get I need to say more things for this part. I will go next parts on the heads. How to I made it. For this part, I will just leave it like this. Let's close with the jiggle bones and the summary with what we done. Also we made some body groups on the last parts. Here's the some renders, mesh, material groups. Okay, that's for the tutorial parts, and thank you for watching. If you want to support us, you can support from my subscribe start to get my AI arts, or you can subscribe my channel in YouTube, or you can become a YouTube member in the YouTube to give me support. But subscribe and liking doing a more also it makes a good thing. Thank you for watching. You are awesome to be watching. See you soon on the next part, if the besots won't come to hunt me.